Hello everybody, Welsh Sim Farmer here. Hope you're all doing really well, enjoying the lovely weather that we're having recently. The sunshine has been glorious in the Vale today, which is always a bonus. Everything's always nicer when the sun's shining. Thanks for joining us on what is my first map early access preview of what is going to be an amazing map when it's finished. This is the little map by MartinMLGAMER called Garth Farm. The even better thing about this for me is it's Welsh, based in it's a fictional map based on a few areas and a few maps that Martin's seen in and around the Brecon area. He's given me some access to it, do a bit of testing on it. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour around what would be the starter farm. I'm going to take a quick spin around the map, and we're going to have a quick test on the hop here while we're doing it. We're going to do a little bit of grass mowing and a little bit of harvesting. So I've got some stuff set up in a couple of fields over there, and then I'm going to jump in our Land Rover, take on a quick spin around the map. So you're probably going to notice, like I said, it's early access, it's not finished. There are some issues with the map. Martin's in the process of fixing. Anything I spot in the meantime also gets flagged up for him. He gets onto it straight away, to be fair, and sends me an extra copy or the next copies for more testing. So this is the starter farm. A couple of things you're going to notice here that I've put down just for sake of this video and the testing we're going to run is this silo isn't here at the moment, and this bale storage isn't here at the moment. These bales are here because I've been testing silage harvesting, whether the bale stores work and whether the silos work and stuff like that. So also none of the equipment that you can see in the sheds here would either be here because none of the starter equipment has been put in, so I've just added this in myself. I've got a Fiat Agri F140 there. I brought that for a laugh just to see what it was like because I've not used one before. Some mowers, and then we've got ourselves a New Holland baler and a chrome rower there, windrower, and a T6 or a T7, I think it's a T7, and this Land Rover could not drive around a British map in anything else but a Land Rover. So let's jump in this. Let's go for a quick spin around the map. Let's go. Let's make a move. We're going to head out of the farm here. This would be your starter farm. We'll come and take a proper look at this after. We're going to do a left, head down to our first sell point. There's no traffic on the map here either, so I can pretty much drive around as we want. Always on the left in the UK, apparently. So yeah, down to the first sale point down here, which I shall show you on the map PDA in a second. It's not far. Straight down here. And then here we go. So I'll load up the PDA now as well, just so you get a better idea of where we are. This is it. Again, very raw at the moment, still work to do on it. But the textures and the work that Martin's done up to now, absolutely fantastic. You can believe this is his first ever map. It looks absolutely brilliant and very UK-esque as well. So right, let's get this PDA loaded up. So as you can see from this, it is actually slightly smaller than what would be your standard size map. I can't show you a border here because the background for the PDA is still missing. That's something Martin's working on at the moment. But we are currently here at the old barns, and this is your start farm down here. A couple of things to note here is put an extra field in here, field 23. Click on that. That's your start farm, but you can also buy all of the surrounding land. If I can click on it. Click across to farmland, there you go. So you can see I've bought all of the surrounding land and all the roads, just for the sake of testing. Also bought myself some fields down here and put some grass in a few of them. And we're going to harvest field number 1 down there as well. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to take a spin from here. We're going to head up this road. We're going to go up to the other farm that you get on the map. And then we're going to go up to the top here, where we've got 2 other sales points here. You've got Garth Market. You've got Y Valley Market. At the moment, again, they're just grids in the floor at the moment without any markings or anything, but So again, that's a lot of things that Martin's currently working on. So then we're going to come back down. We're going to head down this lane here, and we're going to cut up here and across. Number 9 here, you can see, is going to be where Martin's not sure what to do with that yet, whether to put a BGA or something on it, or turn it into a sales port area, or just leave it flat as a placeable area. So we'll have a discussion about that after. Then you've got the normal dealer here, and at the top of the map you've got vehicle shop, and you've got Valley Mill. So this is what I was looking for earlier. I zoom in here, Field 100. That's what gives you the opportunity to buy all of the surrounding areas and the roads and things like that. So let's get back out of here. Let's get back in this landy. Let's go for a spin. Back out of here. And it's another right out of this lane. Good thing about this map is, with it being smaller than your standard size map, it's absolutely brilliant for people who want to just jump on the game, do a little bit of farming, jump back off again. You know, the polar opposite to what a 4X map would be. That obviously takes a lot longer. It's also ideal for people who are into their UK style maps like I am. I can seriously see myself running some sort of series on this when it's complete and it comes out. I'm really looking forward to it. But what we'll do is, once we finish the tour here, we'll just stick flight mode on, have a quick flight round, but show you some of the areas up a bit closer that you will have seen in the cinematic in the intro. So here we go. Start there. I mean, look at the detail in the gates here. Look, you can see he's spent time and effort and things. He hasn't just plonked standard stuff down. He's had some permissions from modders to use their buildings, which is always fantastic. Let's take a spin around this way. Everything looks rustic. Everything looks, you know, very British. Some of the sort of derelict style buildings that you're going to see. This one you get a big cow barn. So there we go. And then these columns and silos. I don't know about you guys, but you see these everywhere around where I am, up in North Wales. It's just a very common sight for UK style farms. And then these versions of them, which are just older, non-sign written ones. But look at this, these old buildings. Get these a lot in the farms around where I am, and they just make the farm fantastic. Big silage clamp in here, or storage sheds. Plenty of vehicle storage, and this big cow barn. That landy looks really good. This sort of area as well. And then all of the textures and everything in this, with crops and things like that, are all base game. But there is a mod that you can get out now at the moment, which is a UK crop calendar, which is worth looking into if you play a lot of UK maps. It does mean you have to change over your base game foliage folders, but it's just a case of keeping copies and swapping them out. That changes your crop calendar over to something a bit more UK-like. Gives you more opportunities for planting, and it also changes the textures to get some more custom textures and things in it. So this is really cool. So we're going to jump back in here now, take another spin round here, and we're going to go back out with the farm. Have a quick look at these houses across the road. Here's your farmhouse. Comes with this farm. I think if I were to start a series, I'm not really sure whether I'd start on this one or the other one. Can't make my mind up. Let's get these gates open. There we go. And these are the houses that Martin's just put in. These went on the last version I was testing on. Again, very British looking red brick houses. Really do suit the area that he's put them on. So let's get back in our Land Rover. Go for another spin. We'll do another right up here. Go up to the sales point in the top right corner of the map. Then we're going to come back down this road a little bit, and we're going to do a little bit of a shortcut across down that lane, I think it's. If not, it's the one further back. Either way, let's go and have a nosy up here. Here we go. This is another thing I really like. The old red telephone boxes. Believe it or not, there's still a couple of them around here in North Wales. Whether they're still actually used or not, I don't know. So here we go. This is where you've got Wye Valley Market and Garth Market. Some of these buildings I've not actually seen before in other maps, so these are really cool. See if you can actually go in them. No, not yet. Maybe that's something Martin's working on, I'm not sure. But these little notices and stuff like that, you know, they're just little details. Make a massive, massive difference and stuff like this. So there you can see, look, floating cones. Something I'll notice, I'll point out to Martin next time I speak to him. And these ones, it's just a ground level in issue, that. Yeah, and these silos. Nothing major. And then you've got some other buildings around here. Another, what looks like could be a diesel tank. And then another sales point. And another old building. Or storage building, whatever you wanted really. Depending on what can be sold at these sales points, you could turn some of these into bale storage points. But yeah, more traditional UK looking buildings and housing. They're really cool. So right then, let's take a head down here. And let's get back in the landy. Let's do this shortcut across the middle of the map. Go and take a look at the other bits. Need to remember which turning I'm taking now. Let me know what you think of the map so far in the comments, guys. It's really, really appreciate your feedback. Martin really appreciates your feedback on this. He is, at the moment, in two minds as to whether to send this to Giants or not. So if this is something that you would be interested in, please let me know in the comments so Martin can see it. I'll pass on all the feedback to him anyway, and then it might help him make his mind up whether he does send it to Giants for full testing or not. Otherwise it might just stay PC only. Right, where is this turning? Let's get this PDA loaded up. Where are we? Just coming up here on the right. So we're going to turn right down here now. Is that the one I've just gone past? It is. There we go. Jump back in here. Just little things like this, like low-lying branches and stuff. I love little details like that in maps. You know, maps sometimes to it. I love highly detailed maps, I really do. But sometimes they can be overly perfect, if that makes sense. You know, you're going to come across little problems like this when you're playing a traditional style map. There's low-lying branches, you've got to be careful what machinery you use, that kind of thing. So let's get up to here, which is the first thing we're going to come to here is the animal dealer. Now again, this is part of the unfinished things. Just park this in the hedge. One of the unfinished things here, so you've got the animal dealer trigger here. Martin is aware there's some issues here, and some of the cows are a little bit static, but that's something that's in the pipeline to be sorted. So there we go. What we're going to do from here is we're going to go up to this last sales point and show you that, and then I'll show you quickly in flight mode where the placeable area is. Once we've done that, we'll park this Land Rover back up at the nearly missed the turn in, up at the farm. What happens when I try and multitask? we'll do a little bit of testing. Got some harvesting to do. So here we go. Last of the sales area. And another house building at the back there to have a look at. Again, there's another diesel tank here. Whether that will become usable or not, I don't know. Depends what happens with these areas. So you've got another sales point coming up here. Which, let me just load the map up, that's Valley Mill. And then the other building to our left here is going to be the vehicle dealer. So some of these buildings may change slightly from what you can see now to what they are in the finished polished product, but sometimes I think the buildings may be put down just as positional things, just so they can get a feel for where and how things are going to work. So right then, I'm just going to jump into flight mode and you can go and take a look at the placeable area. And I'll take a quick flight around the map as well so you can have a better look at where everything is. Right, here we go. So let's get in the air. Here we go. So this is where the placeable area or the BGA or some sort of sales point might be. Again, Martin wasn't too sure. He was asking for some feedback on this, so to give you an idea where you are, you're going to be in the top left hand corner of the map. You've got the market and the vehicle dealership just to our left there, animal dealer straight in front of us, and then this placeable area or whatever it becomes, it's going to be accessible via this lane here, which takes you down here. Some more derelict buildings that look really cool on the edges of these fields. Down here, and it comes back out on this lane on the main road. It's pretty much straight up through this third of the map here. And then your start farm is just up here. And then as you can see here, these are the fields that we're going to do a little bit of testing on. There we go. And then the other sales points, we've got one down here. And the other ones are, let's get right up in the air. There's your second farm there. And the other one in the top right corner. Give you an overall view of the map. What do we think, guys? Looks really cool, doesn't it? I love it. Can't wait to get going on this properly. It's going to be fantastic. Right, so I'll jump back in the landy, take that back down to the farm, and we will jump in the harvester and get going. See you guys in a sec. Okay, so here we go. Let's get everything unfolded. What we're going to do is we're going to set this up on a course by course. And I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to unload it with that Fendt and the trailer over there. While that's getting going, I'm going to go and get the mowers and get the other fields mowed. Let's get into this. Let's get this course by course set up. It's one thing that Martin hasn't tested it with is Courseplay. Now I'm an avid user of Courseplay and AutoDrive. Well, there's no AutoDrive network on this. Courseplay still works fine, so let's get that set up and get going. Just going to add a little bit of a field margin on this just to make sure it doesn't hit anything. Start on the headlands. And we'll do lands on it, just see what it looks like. Yeah, that should do it. And we're off. Get rid of these, don't need to see any of that. Get rid of that. There we go. Let's just check that field margin. Looks fine. Spot on. Yeah, it's picking up. No problem. Right then. Nip back to the farm. I think I'll jump in that Fiat Agri. Pick the mowers up. Do a little bit of mowing. There we go. Right. Get cracking on this. So this is the Fiat F140, Fiat Agri F140 by Edomod. You may have seen my review of this a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely love them. I really do love these VIPs, they're fantastic. Both of them. I couldn't not put it in this series after I was going to watch a tractor run recently, and there actually being an F-140 in the tractor run. Me and the apprentice were looking at each other going, oh my god, look at that. It's the first one I've ever seen. Mixed in with a load of modern Valtras and John Deeres, and it was quite a surprise. Looks as cool in the flesh as it does on the game, or vice versa. Listen to the noise this thing makes. Oh, look at that. Alright then. Same again. We get this thing unfolded. And we're gonna set this off on a course by course. And we'll jump back on and see how that harvester's getting on. There we go. Right. No issues at all with courseplay. There is an issue that I pointed out to Martin with the field gate collision, so I am just going to put a little bit of a field margin on here just so that the look ahead view stays away from there. Put 2 headlands on. Just go up and down on this. It's fine. There we go. Let's get rid of that. We don't need any of that again. And we're off. I'm going to make sure we leave a decent field edge. Well, that's probably a little bit too narrow, but as long as it's not clipping through the hedges, he's fine. So he gets on around this corner. Ideal. Spot on. There we go. So we'll leave this guy get on. And we'll jump back in that fence now and see how he's getting on with the harvester. Actually not come around the first headland yet. There goes the F-140 off with the mower. There he comes. Absolutely no issues with courseplay there. I've checked again with the AI workers and there's no issues with that. So that's all good. I've put a small auto drive route in myself when I was testing that, and that works absolutely fine, so no issues that I know of with any mods. So all is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these guys run for a little bit, and I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Right, so here we go. Let's go down, meet the harvester, unload it again. As you can see, I've got one full load from the harvester already in the trailer. I'm going to go down, tip this at the farm, give you a quick tour around the starter farm, and then that'll pretty much be us. Let's see where we're at. As you can see there, New Holland's going round with the windrower in that second field. No issues with that at all. I've done a little bit of baling in the first field that we mowed. Again, no issues with anything there. So all is good. There are some errors and things in the log that Martin's got to work on this, but he's fully aware of those and is in the process of working through them as they go, and any other issues that myself and a couple of other testers point out to him, which is good. There's bound to be errors and there's bound to be issues. Your first ever map that you ever come out with, that you ever produce, sorry, bound to have problems. The fact that is very positive and very foregoing in the way that he wants to work through those issues, get it sorted as quick as he can, get the next phase done for testing. It's always good. Right, that's empty. Let's go and tip this down at the farm and I'll give you a quick tour around there. It's a 2-minute drive. from here back to the starter farm. So as you can see, cosplay's run absolutely fine on there. A little bit of babysitting, but that's to be expected. You get that on every map at the beginning, until you work out how many headlands and things like that you need to do. This one being a smaller map, pretty much designed for smaller equipment, takes a little bit more babysitting than usual. Here we are. Right, back down, left turn here. Get this reversed into the silo and tipped, and we'll just park up and go for a quick wander around. See if I can do this in one, shall we? No pressure. Look at that. Like a glove. That's it. Let's turn that off. Jump out. So here we go then. Your starter farm on Garth Farm by MartinMLGAMER. Plenty of storage sheds here. Look at these textures. Vent and that trailer look really good in this farm as well, don't they? And that Land Rover always looks good in the UK farm. Anyway, again, you've got more storage in here. You've got what will be a silage bunker here. It's a slight issue that Martin's working on, getting those to function like a silage bunker. Squeeze through the gap. Got a more storage shed in here. Again, I'm assuming that will be some sort of silo in there, or some sort of silo grate will be there when that's turned into that bit. And another storage shed. Of course, you could always put your own silo plates down using a modded one if you needed to be. And then you've got your farmhouse just around the corner with a little driveway to it. So this is the farmhouse, and then you drive off the main road that pretty much runs down the spine of the map. And that's it. We're done. You don't really want to see me running through the rigmarole of testing through this, but I'm going to crack on with the rest of that harvest and get that baling done just to make sure there's no other issues. Start moving around the map a bit more, testing a few of the fields, maybe even test some contracts. Firstly, I want to say a massive thank you to Martin sending this over to me, allowing me to put this video together, show it off to you guys. It's been absolutely brilliant testing this for him, and I cannot wait for the finished product. Get cracking on this. I'm 100% going to run a little series on this, without a doubt. Thanks from him to all of the modders that have allowed him to use the buildings. And like I said earlier in the video, please let me know your feedback in the comments, what you think of this, what you think you should do with that placeables area up in the corner, whether you think you should put some sort of BGA down, or whether you prefer what you think it should be, sales points, or whether it's just left open. At the end of the day, you could always put a modded sales point or a modded BGA down if you really wanted. It's always good to hear feedback on it. Let me know what you guys think. Again, thanks again, Martin. I really appreciate this. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll hope to see you for a series on this very soon. Garth Farm, Hwyl.